Good morning, Jefferson City. This is our last episode of the NT Daily for this week, and we have another special guest. Central Bank President Ken Therhoff is going to join me shortly. But first, I'm going to kick it to our sponsor, MU Healthcare. If you're looking for advanced heart care close to home, MU Healthcare offers the region's most comprehensive cardiovascular services and is accepting new patients in Columbia and Jefferson City, from preventative heart screenings and diagnostic testing to cutting-edge care for complex conditions. You can find the support and expertise you need. Call 573-88-HEART to schedule an appointment today or visit muhealth.org/heartcare now to learn more. And now we are going to hear from Central Bank President Ken Therhoff. Stay tuned. I'm joined by Central Bank President Ken Therhoff. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Aaron.
Yeah, it's not that long ago I saw you.
Yeah, at the parade.
Hosting some parade.
Yeah, right after the big storm.
Right.
Exciting day that day.
We both look much more dry than we did Saturday.
I wasn't wearing a suit that day, fortunately.
That is true. You all still owe me a t-shirt, a Central Bank t-shirt.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, we got to get her a t-shirt.
Perfect. So we talked on Saturday about 250th anniversary, and you noted that Central Bank itself has an important anniversary this year, 125 years.
125.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe. We were founded in 1902, and right here in Jefferson City. And 125 years later, which will be next year, we're very proud to still be around. As a matter of fact, there were a handful of banks in Jefferson City during the Great Depression.
Yeah.
And we were one of two that made it through that. And so we're proud of that legacy as well. So
I think I might remember that from a high school history lesson.
Yeah, yeah. And then, one of the stories we like to tell is during the Depression, the state was struggling with their budget, and we actually helped them meet payroll and help them keep going. And so we like to brag about that a little bit.
I love that you brought that up because we were talking about the state budget today.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
show. Yes, our revenue projections are down. I hope no one's calling you.
So I don't want to talk about the state budget right now. Yeah, so that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave that to the governor and the folks in the Capitol.
There's good hands. It's in good hands, yeah. Another big thing that happened this past year was Central Bank went public in November.
Yeah.
Explain what that means for the bank, for your customers, for the community.
Yeah. Well, it's a very exciting time for us. For a long time, our shares had been very privately held and very thinly traded, and so we made the decision probably about a year and a half ago that we would explore going public. And really, all that means is that our stock trades on the NASDAQ, which you've heard of the NASDAQ exchange. And so index funds, individuals, they can buy stock in our company a lot more easily than they could have before. You could buy our stock before, but it was very thinly traded and it was closely held.
Yep.
Now we're traded publicly on the NASDAQ, and so anybody who wants to own part of our company, they have the ability to go out and buy part of us. And we think that's important for our community because we have a lot of customers who enjoy banking with us, and we found out they also really enjoy owning part of our company. There's always that concern that when you're publicly traded that you have to run your business according to maybe what the analyst or the market says on a more of a monthly or quarterly basis. One of the things that we vowed to ourselves in doing this is that we were not going to manage our company on a short-term basis. We're going to continue to run our bank the way we've always run it, and that's really with decades in mind, not quarters in mind. And we're in this for the long term. Another real nice benefit, though, of going public is we raised almost $500 million that we put into our capital coffers.
Right.
And so we have a lot more capital than we need, which makes us very safe.
Yeah.
And so anytime there's a little turbulence in the economy, we
need to be stable.
Very safe and strong. And the other thing is it does give us the ability, since our stock is now publicly traded, it gives us a better currency to go out and make acquisitions. And so that's on our plan too for the long term, is we'd like to make some acquisitions. Now we're very picky. We want those to be in the right place.
Yeah.
They have to make sense and be strategic. But the initial public offering allows us a little bit more flexibility and currency to do that.
Wow. Yeah,
so
that's so do you have to get on quarterly stockholder calls now?
we have
calls?
quarterly calls with the investment community, with the financial community. So the analysts who follow our stock, they're able to call in and ask questions.
Yeah.
So, and that's been different for us. But it's been positive. It's been very good, and they ask a lot of good questions. And right now we have a really good story to tell.
Yeah.
We're doing really well. We've got a lot of capital. We're very safe, but yet we've had about 40 straight years of increased earnings. And so we've been able to continue to grow in a measured way and in a safe way, but it's nice to be able to grow a little bit every year.
So is this move about a lot? It seems like this move was a lot about growth, about where you're headed.
Yeah, the acquisition piece of it is very important to us. But then the other part of it, and I want to circle back to what you asked about, is it going to change anything for our community or our customers? We really don't think it will, and we're working very hard to make sure that doesn't happen. We want to continue to deliver the same service and products that we have as a community bank for 124 years.
I haven't noticed anything change. I'm right across the street from you all. It still looks the same to me.
I'm glad to hear
I hope that gives people some assurance.
But I don't want to I don't want to underestimate that, because that is a bit unique. Sometimes when companies go public, they do have to change the way they operate a bit, and we've really worked hard to not do that.
Yeah, I could imagine that's probably the number one concern out there about that. So I'm glad we got to talk about it.
And I'm glad to hear you say that. And we've had customers ask us that very same question, and we give them the answer. But then I think what we find is after a couple of months, they come back and they say, "You're right. Nothing has changed." So.
So transitioning a little bit to the community, 125 years in the community means that you have a large footprint in pretty much everything that goes on in Jefferson City. You're very involved in everything from nonprofits to local high school sports. For instance, we have, for a few years now, you all have sponsored some tailgates at the local football games.
Yeah.
We are excited to maybe be able to participate at a few of those this year. But tell me a little bit, I know you are also sponsors of the basketball tournament in the winter as well. But tell me a little bit about what you have planned for the next year, especially as the 125th anniversary comes up. What kind of things can the community look towards Central Bank doing?
I think the community can look for much of the same of what we have been doing. We're very proud of our involvement in the community. We last year, just the hours that we tracked, and I know we didn't get them all tracked, but our employees invested 3,600 hours of their own time volunteering in the community. So we're really proud of that. The tailgate's a great thing. We've been doing that for about 20 years.
20 years.
And people love it.
Okay.
People love it. And we cook brats and hot dogs and give away T-shirts, and of course everybody's excited about football. Yeah. Everybody's excited about all sports here.
Fall sports,
in Missouri,
it doesn't take much to get this community excited about sports.
So we have a lot of fun with it, and we actually have to tell some of our employees that we don't need them to volunteer because everybody loves to work those tailgates.
Yeah.
But then I can't name them all, but not just sports, but we're very much supportive of the arts, of education, kind of at all levels. So economic development. We're trying to do everything we can to make this community better, because if it's good for this community, it's good for us.
Right.
And so it's a good partnership.
Welcome back. Thanks to Ken for stopping by the show today. That was fun. Well, there's one thing we haven't talked about for a while, and I don't know if you know where I'm going with this, but the state budget, since Governor Mike Keogh signed the budget bills. But we had some important news this week. Natalie Tan from the News Tribune reported on Missouri's revenue picture. If you've heard lawmakers talking about how we are entering these tighter budget times, there is one reason why. Missouri finished the fiscal year with general revenue collections down about 2.8% compared to last year, with June collections down nearly 9.5%, so nearly a whole 10% from June 2025. Sales taxes were actually up, but declines in corporate income taxes and individual income taxes outweighed those gains. Now, doesn't always mean the sky is falling. Revenue reports bounce from month to month, but after Governor Kehoe vetoed nearly $500 million from this year's budget, it does reinforce something we've been talking about here on the show, The days of enormous post-pandemic surpluses are behind us, and next year's budget debates are not getting any easier than they were this year. So, of course, we will continue to cover this issue closely and keep you up to date on future month-to-month revenue projections. Now for some news that may actually impact my productivity in the morning or not, depends. Jefferson City is getting its first dedicated donut shop. Yummy's Doughnut opens Friday morning in the former Becky's Bakery location on Missouri Boulevard. The Missouri-based chain will offer everything from glazed donuts and cinnamon rolls to apple fritters, bear claws, kolaches, and coffee. The owners say customers have been asking them for years to come to Jefferson City because, and I quote, "Donuts here aren't the same anymore." I don't know if I believe that, but I'm always happy to have another donut option. You're not going to hear me complain about that. They are planning to be open from 6 a.m. until noon or until they sell out. So if your office suddenly has donuts tomorrow morning, it could be because we have a new donut shop opening. Speaking of food, this week's specials at our NT Daily sponsor and friends at Hen House are perfect for easy summer meals. You'll find fresh peaches, watermelon, red grapes, patio steaks, KC strip steaks, baby back ribs, rope sausage, chicken drumsticks, fresh shrimp, premium Kretschmar deli meats, and plenty of bakery favorites. Whether you're grilling outside or just trying not to turn your oven on in July, Hen House has dinner covered. Stop by our friends at Hen House on Southwest Boulevard or text Hen House to 41570 to get this week's hot deals. Another fun story in the News Tribune: the Katy Trail is continuing to pay off. One of Missouri's biggest tourist attractions is not inside Branson or St. Louis or Kansas City. It is actually a trail that goes across a lot of the state. A new University of Missouri study estimates trail visitors generated more than $20 million in economic activity last year, with overnight visitors spending nearly $150 per day in communities along the trail. That's pretty good investment for people who choose to voluntarily ride bicycles for like 40 miles before deciding to stop. The last story today also relates back to the budget. I know. Womp womp. Here we go. SNAP costs, the federal SNAP program, could become a bigger budget issue. Missouri could eventually face millions of dollars in additional SNAP costs if the state doesn't lower its federal payment error rate. Missouri's current error rate sits at about 8.7%, above the federal threshold that could require the state to pay a larger share of food assistance costs beginning in 2027 and beyond. State officials say they're working to improve accuracy before those penalties would take effect. It's important to remember an error rate is not a fraud rate as far as we understand it. It's simply a measure of how often states make mistakes when determining or issuing SNAP benefits. Before we go, another quick reminder from our friends at Southbank. Their summer sales are continuing at Southbank Gift Company. Right now, you'll find 25% off summer clothing from brands like Liverpool and Nick and Zoe, with even more summer home decor sales coming up. Whether you're updating your wardrobe or looking for the perfect gift, stop by our friends at Southbank in downtown Jefferson City and keep an eye on their social media and ours for even more specials in their events. And that's a wrap on our NT Daily for Thursday. I will see you again on Monday morning. I hope you have a great summer weekend, and we will see you again soon.